I just hope this teaches you a lesson, Miss Albright.
Ha! The idea of closing out my checking account simply because my figures showed the bank owed me $1.08, treating me like a child.
Well, apparently you are. So it's back to a piggy bank for you. From now on, you get your allowance in cash. Do you hear?
Here? From the way you were screaming around the bank, I was never so embarrassed in my life.
You were embarrassed. What about me? I'm a director of that bank. And you whip up a big crisis over a difference of $1.08 between their statement and your check stubs.
Is it my fault the bank goofed?
Threatening to write the Federal Reserve Commission in Washington and demand an official audit.
It worked, didn't it? They paid me my $1.08, didn't they? That proves I was right.
They paid you off because it would have cost a lot more to have an audit than to let you think a woman's arithmetic was better than a bank's.
I still say my figures were right.
Oh, I give up. I wish I knew why you can't be a reasonable, normal girl like your mother was.
You mean I inherited my pixie blood from you, Dad?
On the contrary, I was a sensible, hard-working young man, full of purpose, allowing no frivolity to handicap my drive toward success.
Well, if you were such a stuffy, conservative type, then where do I get me from?
From your maternal grandmother, for whom you were named.
Grandmother Margie. What a character she was. And you're just like her.
I wish I'd known her.
She was a grand old gal at that. You know, it was through her I met your father and gave him his first job.
Really?
But like anything else your grandmother was mixed up in, it meant a rough time for all concerned.
Do you know what she did to me?
No, but I'm with Grandma.
I was fresh out of Boston U and courting your mother. That was back in 1930, right after the big crash in 29. Oh, things were pretty tough, but Grandmother Margie managed to make them tougher. For me, anyway. And then, one day when I came to call on you...
Now, Kathy, I do think you ought to know more about this Albright boy before you lose your head completely. I know all I need to know, Mother. I love him. What I mean is, what's Vernon really like? What makes him tick? All we know is that he comes from Boston, which is a fine recommendation for baked beans, but not for a son-in-law. Now, really, Mother, he's good and sweet and kind. Heh, sounds like one of the Rover boys. Sam, the serious Rover, to be specific. No spunk, no drive. He has, too. He's just as aggressive as the next one. Then maybe you'd better wait and marry the next one. Vernon's drive is strictly low gear, or he'd have found a job by this time. He's just out of college. Give him a chance. Jobs are hard to get nowadays. Well, you'd better be hard to get yourself unless you plan to live on love, and that's definitely a reducing diet. That's Vern now. He's early, isn't he? Dinner's not for 3 hours yet.
Tennis, anyone? How about a love set?
Vern, careful. Mother's in the living room. Why don't you go in and say hello while I run upstairs and get my racket?
Do I have to? I don't feel very comfortable with your mother. I don't think she likes me very much.
Oh, her bark's a lot worse than her bite. I'll be down in 2 shakes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. It's a lovely day today, isn't it? That is, it isn't exactly lovely because it looks a little like rain, but it's a lot better today than it was yesterday. Of course, yesterday was pretty bad, too.
That's what I like. No coward dialogue.
Oh. Well,
So much for small talk. Now to business. Sit down. Now tell me, why are you playing tennis when you ought to be out looking for a job?
Oh, I've been looking. I've combed the town, but you know what the situation is these days. Jobs are few and far between.
So are the hairs on a bald man's head, but he keeps combing and hoping.
Oh, I'll give it the good old college try. Don't you worry. I've got plenty of fight in me. I was a football star back at Boston U, and I guess you know what that takes.
A strong back and a weak mind.
Oh, that's very funny, ma'am. I'll tell that to the fellas at the next class reunion.
Well, don't wait for a laugh, or you'll be too old to look for a job. Come on, Vern. Mother's taken up enough of your time. It's my turn now.
If you'll excuse me, ma'am, it's been awfully nice talking to you.
Young man, if you can say things like that with a straight face, you'll be a cinch in the business world. Hello, operator. Give me Manhattan 2134, please.
Hello, Honeywell talking. Oh, hello, Margie. Glad you called. Yeah, I just found a buyer for that stock of yours. Good thing you hung on to it.
That's fine, George. But I have something more urgent to discuss with you. A personal favor. Now, don't argue, George. It's not another one of my wild schemes. It's business. Yes. No, I'll come down to your office right away. Goodbye.
You and your dizzy ideas. Why do you have to involve me every time you start meddling in other people's affairs?
I'm only asking the favor for Kathy. You know you're fond of her.
Of course I am. Kathy is a constant source of wonder to me. I can't understand how she can be such a sweet, normal girl with a nut like you for a mother.
Well, maybe I am, but there's nothing nutty about finding out what Kathy's young man is made of, is there? See if he's right for her?
No, I guess not. All right. You want me to give this Albright fellow a job, so I'll do it.
No, George, you've got it all wrong. I don't want you to give him a job. That won't accomplish my purpose at all. I'm going to tell him there's a job open here, but I want you to make him really fight to get it. Put all sorts of obstacles in his way. Test his perseverance, his ingenuity and aggressiveness.
Margie, sometimes I wonder if you didn't cause the crash in 29. Now remember, Miss Joyner, when this Albright fella shows up, tell him my first open appointment is 2 months from now.
Yes, sir. Mr. Albright, a friend of yours?
No, I never even met the man. I'm doing this for one of our clients.
May I ask why?
We want to see how he handles a businessman's first line of defense, the secretary.
Good morning, ma'am. Will you kindly inform Mr. Honeywell that Vernon Albright wishes to see him immediately on very important business?
I'm sorry, sir, but Mr. Honeywell is busy and cannot be disturbed.
Oh, I see. That's okay. I'll come back some other time. I'm terribly sorry to have bothered you. Miss, I'm a very determined man, and I've got to see Mr. Honeywell, so kindly make a definite appointment.
His first open appointment is in 2 months. Shall I put you down for that?
2 months? But I've got to see him before then, or Kathy's mother will fracture me. I mean, this is an emergency.
I'm sorry, but 2 months is the earliest open appointment. Yes, Mr. Honeywell.
Call the Power and Light Company and tell them to come and fix this blasted heater in my office.
Yes, sir.
Tell them I'm a stockholder in their company and I want service. Have them send a man over here right away.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, Mr. Albright.
Oh, that's all right. I don't think I'll need an appointment now.
Well, I must say I'm disappointed, George. I knew Kathy's young man was no fireball, but I certainly didn't think some snip of a secretary could make him fizzle out.
I guess he just hasn't got what it takes. Wait a minute. Hold the phone.
Power and Light Company, sir, tracing down a short.
There's been a new development in the matter we were discussing. I'll call you back. So you're from the Power and Light Company, eh? You didn't waste much time getting here.
Oh, I never waste time when there's a job to be done. And speaking of jobs, I'd like to talk to you about...
I didn't send for you to talk. I sent for you to fix that electric heater, so do it.
Yes, sir. But about that job...
I'm going to call the power company and have you fired.
Oh. Now, wait a minute, Mr. Honeywell. You don't understand.
Shut up and get out of my office.
I'll open it for you, sir.
And probably break it, huh? Now, you get out of my office and stay out.
Well, you're Mr. Albright. You're not with the power company.
Try and tell him that.
Oh, I think Mr. Honeywell's giving you too rough a time. After all, wanting a job isn't anything criminal.
You're right. I'm going back in there and get the job if I have to beat it out of him. And in fact, I'd prefer it.
No, wait. That would just get me in trouble. I know. Why don't you go around by the fire escape? Take him by surprise.
By golly, that's a good idea. And thanks a lot. Believe me, when I'm the head of the firm, I'll not forget this.
And Margie, you should have seen his face when I gave him the old heave-ho. It was really something. Uh-oh, he's back for more. Now you listen. I'm a stockholder in a power and light company. I don't want explanations. I want action, sir. What do I want you to do? Drop the boom on them.
Oh, help! Help, Mr. Honeywell! Oh, let me go! Let me go!
I'll call you back, Margie. There's something caught in my gopher trap.
Oh, yeah,
Well, had a little accident, didn't we?
You did that on purpose.
Just teaching you the first rules of business. Never stick your neck out.
Why, you old... Now you listen to me for a change. I'm sick and tired of you bullying me. Now sit down.
Glad to, my boy. Glad to. I'm always willing to listen to what a member of my firm has to say.
Okay. Now, first of all, member of your firm? You mean I got the job?
You got the spirit, you got the perseverance, and I like that. How'd you like to start as the head of a department?
Oh, that's terrific. But I didn't expect to start at the top, Mr. Honeywell. What department am I going to head?
The maintenance department. You are now officially the janitor.
Janitor?
Come along, I'll put you on the payroll. Miss Joyner, enter the name of Vernon Albright on the payroll starting tonight. Hours, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m.
All night? Well, that's 14 hours.
If you don't want the job, say so.
Oh, yes, I want it. Thanks a lot. What's the salary?
Salary? Did I say anything about salary?
No.
Well, then see that you don't. I hate people that start whining about money the minute they start work. We'll discuss pay after your 2 weeks trial period is up.
Congratulations, Mr. Albright.
Thanks. I guess.
Miss Joyner, was that a paper clip I just heard? How many times have I told you not to waste paper clips?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Honeywell. It won't happen again.
Well, bully for you, sir. I'm happy to be associated with a man who pays so much attention to detail. I'm a paperclip saver myself.
All right. You and I are going to hit it off. Glad to have you on our team.
7 o'clock, only an hour to go.
For heaven's sakes, Margie, why do you have to rout me out this revolting hour in the morning?
Now, George, relax. It's the early bird that catches the worm, and I can't wait to catch Vernon actually working.
All right, wake up.
Oh, Mr. Honeywell.
What's the idea of sleeping on the job?
Good morning, ma'am.
So this is the way you show your appreciation. And to think I recommended you to Mr. Honeywell. I won't blame you if you discharge him at once, George.
Oh, no, please don't fire me, Mr. Honeywell. I've worked hard all night. Look, I've swept, dusted, and cleaned your floor. I filled your waste paper basket, and I emptied your ink wells. And see, I salvaged a good 10 cents worth of paper clips.
Congratulations, Albright. Why, you're a born executive.
Oh, thank you, sir. And now I think I'll go and punch the time clock.
Just a moment, Vernon. Surely you're not going home.
Why, yes.
Well, you'll never get ahead that way. You've got to stop watching the clock. I'm sure Mr. Honeywell will let you stay in the office the rest of the day and learn the business.
The rest of the day? But I worked hard all night.
I'll tell you what, Albright. You can work days as my office boy. Now go get a shave and a shower and be back in 20 minutes.
Yes, sir. Oh, what happened? I'm sorry, Kathy. Must have corked off for a minute.
Well, I don't wonder. Working in Mr. Honeywell's office for almost 24 hours. Now, you just lie back and relax. Rise and shine, Vernon. It's almost 6. Time to go to work. Now, Mother, Vernon can't keep this up forever. He just finished his office boy job at 5 o'clock.
Oh, don't worry, Kathy. I can take it.
That's the spirit, boy. And think how lucky you are. With jobs so hard to get, you've got 2. Well, Kathy, aren't you going to say goodnight to your budding tycoon? Yes, Mother. Vern.
Maybe you could meet me for breakfast at 8 o'clock. I've got a half an hour then that I don't know what to do with.
It's a date. Good night, Vern. Really, Mother, can't you let us have a minute alone? See you in the morning. And don't be discouraged. Things will work out. You'll see.
Good morning, Mr. Honeywell.
Morning? What's the matter with you, Albright? It's 6:15 p.m. Hurry, or you'll be late.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot which job I was going to. I'm slightly confused.
I'm beginning to feel sorry for the boy, Margie. How long are we going to keep up the act?
As long as necessary to find out what he's really made of. I want to be sure he's right for Kathy.
He's certainly not afraid of hard work.
Yes, but can he meet an emergency? Is he a man of action in a crisis?
I can't think of a bigger or more harrowing crisis than marrying into your family.
I've got a dandy scheme all figured out. We'll hire someone to sneak into your office tonight while Vernon's working and burglarize your safe. Then we'll see how he handles the situation.
Let some shady character burgle my office with a safe full of valuable securities.
But, George...
No, sir, Margie. If anybody is going to steal anything out of my office, it's going to be me. What am I saying?
George, that's the cat's pajamas. Why didn't I think of that? You disguise yourself as a burglar and put Vernon to the test tonight. Oh, please, if you'll do this for me, I promise it's the last favor I'll ask.
Oh, all right. Anything to get rid of your wild ideas.
I knew you'd help me. Now, here's what we'll do.
Kathy, what are you doing here at this hour? Is it time for our breakfast date?
Vern, listen to me. Mr. Honeywell is going to burglarize the safe tonight while you're on duty.
He must be awfully hard up for money to... He's what?
Mother sold him on the idea to see how you'd act in an emergency. In fact, your janitor job and doubling as office boy is Mother's idea, too. She's checking on her future son-in-law.
Well, I'll be... Are you sure, Kathy?
Yes, I heard them talking. Oh, Vern, you've just got to think of something. Mr. Honeywell will be here any minute.
Oh, don't worry. I'll think of something. Come on. When I get through with that old goat, he'll wish he'd never met your mother.
What are you going to do with that metal wastebasket?
I'm going to bring the situation to a head, namely Mr. Honeywell's. Oh, here he comes now. You better hide, Kathy. Beloved employer's office, you cheap crook. I'm going to call the police. Quick, operator, get me the police. I've caught a burglar.
No, Don't call the police. It's me, all right. Look at me, boy.
Mr. Honeywell, you a burglar. I can't believe it.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't understand.
I understand, all right. You came here to rob your own safe, to cover up. There is a shortage in your accounts.
There is not. Believe me. This is just a joke. Kathy's mother put me up to it. I swear.
Oh, that's a likely story. And this is going to look pretty bad when it hits the newspapers. And don't tell me it's your word against mine, because I've got a witness.
You bet he has. I'll swear to anything that'll teach you and Mother a much-needed lesson.
Kathy, what are you doing here?
Never mind, Kathy. You better figure out what you're going to tell the police when they arrive.
Please, don't call the police, I beg you. Even if it isn't true, the scandal will ruin me. Please, I'll do anything, anything.
I won't call the police on two conditions. First, that you give me a job in your firm at, say, $100 a week to start.
It's a deal, boy. Anything that you say.
And second, that you help me get even with my prospective mother-in-law.
That I'm heartily in favor of.
Well, Kathy, I guess this will show your mother that I'm equal to any emergency. Now, you go out and get a bottle of ketchup.
Ketchup? What for?
The first thing a bride must learn is never to question her husband. Now, you go out and get a bottle of ketchup and be quick about it.
Yes, Vern, a bottle of ketchup. I'll hurry.
I'll show these women who the head of the family is.
But all right,
Shut up and do as I tell you.
Yes, sir. Anything you say, my boy.
Hello? Is that you, George? How did you... What? Say that again, Vernon. You just shot Mr. Honeywell? Body on the floor? Blood? Oh, Vernon! No, no, don't call the police until I get there. Is he?
Yep, deader than a mackerel.
Oh!
I didn't know it was Mr. Honeywell until after I'd fired the fatal shot. Oh, the poor guy, I caught him robbing his own safe. He must have been short in his accounts.
No, no, it was all my fault. I killed him, not you.
Your fault? Why, whatever do you mean, ma'am?
I put him up to this. I wanted to test your mettle, Vernon. It was all a grisly joke.
Well, your little joke has ruined 4 lives. Mr. Honeywell is kaput, and Kathy's life will be ruined because the man she loves must go to prison, along with her mother.
Me? Go to prison?
Well, of course. You're the accessory before the fact, aren't you? Well, I guess there's nothing to do now but call the police and give ourselves up. Hello? 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 Operator? Operator, get me the police.
Vernon, wait. Don't call the police.
Don't call the police? Why not?
There's a better way. We'll dispose of the body, and no one will ever know what happened here tonight.
Huh?
It'll be easy. We'll put him in a sack and dump him in the East River.
Dump him in the East River?
It's the only way. I'll go get a burlap bag. Oh, no! She couldn't. She couldn't. You're right, Kathy, dear. Your mother would never drown an old turkey that's covered with ketchup.
Ketchup? You knew all the time?
And that's not all. I also knew you were the right one for my Kathy. Any man who can make George Honeywell lie down and play dead is my kind of guy.
Well, that's my little mother-in-law. And that, as the old gag goes, is how I met your grandmother.
Grandmother Margie, how I wish we two could have gotten together. We'd really have given you a rough time.
You do pretty well on your own. After all, you got it all from her.
Oh, not all. I think I'm a lot like you. I must be.
Like me? What makes you think that?
Well, to paraphrase Grandmother's immortal words, any man who can cope with 3 generations of Margies is my kind of guy.
Well, that's my little Margie.